Tonight on CTV News, the community reacts to the resignation of Sarah's chief executive, major changes for the city's bus routes, and 67 years on, the Ballantyne's fire is remembered.
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening, welcome to CTV News, I'm Emma Cropper. Leaders in the city's rebuild have spoken out for the first time about Roger Sutton's sudden resignation following allegations of sexual harassment.
You know, I've called women honey and sweetie, and that is wrong. You know, that's a sexist thing to do. And I'm really sorry.
That from Roger Sutton as he stepped down from his leadership role as Chief Executive of the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority. Following a 7-week investigation into accusations of sexual harassment, Sutton decided it was time to leave his role. But local leaders have commended his leadership over the past 3 years. Christchurch Mayor Leanne Dalzell releasing a joint statement with City Council Chief Executive Carleen Edwards, calling Sutton a standout leader for the city and the region. The pair says Roger had a huge challenge to establish and head a new government department, which employed a lot of staff not from Christchurch and who had not experienced firsthand the devastation of the earthquakes. Jerry Brownlee, the Minister of the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery, says he's disappointed by the events which led to Sutton's resignation, but acknowledged his contribution as Chief Executive. Minister Brownlee believing Sutton's resignation won't affect the rebuild. He says for Sarah, work continues as usual and interaction with the public and other organisations is unaffected. But Sutton believes it's time someone else took over the reins.
We are at a different stage of the recovery now. We are at a stage where new leadership and new blood, I think, is a good thing. We've done a lot of the hard things. There's still hard issues to go. We've got a lot of big, hard anchor projects to build, and I think, a new leader will probably be a good thing.
He officially leaves the role on the 31st of January, but is still unsure what his next move will be.
I just need to reflect. I want to have a good holiday, spend time with the family, spend time with my friends, and then I'll work out what I want to do next.
Emma Cropper, CTV News. Roger Sutton's been an iconic Christchurch figure for more than 3 years. But just what did people in Christchurch think about his decision to step down? Roger Sutton's left his mark on locals. He became a public figure following the Christchurch earthquakes as he fronted media as the Chief Executive of Orion in the initial aftermath. He then took on the leadership role at the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority when it was first established back in 2011. He's been responsible for zoning of quake-damaged homes as well as the city's blueprint. And yesterday's resignation left locals disappointed about his decision to step down.
We're very disappointed. I think he's done a wonderful job and I feel he should stay.
But it seemed a bit lame, I think it's been taken out of context a wee bit.
Really disappointed. I thought that there wasn't really a call for it, and I think, that was just his personality, and so I actually felt really sorry for him and his wife when I saw them last night.
I think it was good. Yep, and it's not as bad as some people.
No, I just think it's sad. I think sometimes people show their feelings and people take it the wrong way. Yeah.
What did you think of him as a leader?
I think he was doing a good job, as much as I knew.
What do you think of Roger as a leader?
I think he's done a fantastic job. It's been a really big hard, few years for him, and I think anyone in that position would have found it really hard. So I think, he's given it everything he's got and done the best he has.
From December, 75% of metropolitan bus routes in Christchurch will change. Most of those routes will become more frequent, but the catch is that there will be fewer bus stops. Here's more on the story. Less buses travelling more often. It's the new plans by Environment Canterbury to help meet the needs of bus users in the city.
As Christchurch rebuilds into a modern, vibrant city, we want to play our part as Environment Canterbury in the public transport system.
ECAN now introducing 3 tiers to their services, including the Metro lines, a high-frequency service running every 10 to 15 minutes. The city connectors will be routes running through the city centre. The suburban links are the community-based services, taking people to hubs to access different parts of Christchurch.
It can help us to change the culture, if you like, of car use, so people can just walk out to a bus stop and jump on a bus.
They know that a bus is going to be coming.
Which means the streets will be less congested with buses, with almost 10% fewer travelling on the local roads.
Significantly fewer, and the reason for that is because, as I mentioned before, there has been quite a lot of duplication, so multiple routes running down our main corridors. With the lines, there'll only be one bus service running down those main corridors, so there's a significant reduction.
A measure they're hoping will ease congestion in the city.
So we're trying to solve car congestion by putting in buses, and we had too many buses. So that's what we're doing, is significantly reducing the number of buses.
These changes are a sign of the times, not because of the earthquakes.
I think we would have been making changes even if the earthquakes hadn't come along, because modern public transport is changing around the world, and we need to keep up to speed.
And Environment Canterbury are making sure they had the tick of approval from the public before making the changes.
There was extensive consultation carried out, and it's been a lot of work in terms of receiving the submissions and analysing those submissions and making sure that we're putting the customer first.
Bus patronage in Christchurch dropped following the earthquakes, but ECAN are hopeful these changes will encourage users to ride the bus, with more than 14 million passengers recorded taking the bus in the past year. These changes will come into play on the 8th of December. Emma Cropper, CTV News. Earlier this year, Jerry Brownlee, the then Minister of Transport, broke a key civil aviation law. Today he was charged for the breach.
Minister Jerry Brownlee has been fined $2,000 for breaching civil aviation law at Christchurch Airport earlier this year. The then Minister of Transport was charged for entering through an exit-only door without identification in a secure area, along with 2 aides on the 24th of July. The Director of Civil Aviation says airport security is a serious matter, and the same level of vigour had been applied in this investigation as it would for any other. He says since the incident, a range of corrective actions have been created to prevent this situation from happening again. The 2 parliamentary aides who accompanied Minister Brownlee have been issued formal warning letters for the breach. Minister Brownlee says he remains disappointed in himself for the incident.
Still to come, a local woman is attacked on the streets and the 67th anniversary of the Ballantyne's fire is remembered.
Let's face it, everyone has an agenda. And guess what? So do I. Every week, I'll pick 3 stories that grab my attention. Agenda with me, Brent Goff.
Avoid the monkeys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options are also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring moving company.
Oi! Come on down to Ferrymead Golf. Care for a game of paintball? How about some swings on the old driving range? Or on our par 3 9-hole golf course. Test your skills on the mini golf course or have a go at the airgun shooting range. Then relax at the Wow Cafe with one of our super succulent Wow Burgers. Whether you want to perfect your swing or are looking for a fun family day out, come down to Ferrymead Golf, 50 Ferrymead Park Drive, right next to the Ferrymead Heritage Park.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference more mobility makes.
Make a date every Thursday night. The Owl and the Pussycats have returned. I'm the Owl and the women will be the panel. Make sure you get your letters and correspondence in and we'll answer your queries every Thursday, 8:30 here on CTV.
Welcome back. On November 18th, 1947, a fire burnt down Ballantyne's department store in central Christchurch, killing 47 people. A memorial for this disaster was also broken during the earthquakes, but today its repair and anniversary was acknowledged.
One of the worst fires in New Zealand's history totally destroyed Ballantyne's store at Christchurch.
Reminiscing on a day that's been labelled one of the worst fires in New Zealand history. Vera McGregor was one of the lucky ones, managing to escape the burning Ballantyne's building.
It was very frightening, and we were told that we must go home.
At 17 years old, Rana McGregor watched in horror as the blaze engulfed the building, unaware her family were trapped inside.
The fire started and of course went out and watched it, never knowing my father was there. And he went 2 days a year to do the annual audit, and that was one of them. And he was with my cousin Mawson.
Not finding out until later that night if her father had escaped.
And then waiting to see if he got out was just awful. Really was dreadful. Tremendous strain on my dear mother.
In 1947, the blaze that engulfed the Ballantyne's department store 67 years ago was remembered almost 7 decades on today.
May he bring you home rejoicing once again into your doors.
This repaired memorial commemorating the lives lost in the deadly fire.
To see people who were, children at that time who lost relatives, loved ones, some people lost their auntie, lost their partner, daughter, So you just see people still wanting to have a place to come.
The site was badly damaged in the 2011 quakes, with several of the pillars falling. This reconstructed memorial, rebuilt with the help of donations and a $71,000 lottery grant.
The fact that the council dedicated this memorial garden that has each of the names in a plaque attached to a single rose bush, and I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Today, dozens paid tribute and marked their respects for the lives lost in one of Christchurch's darkest days. Starting in the cellar, more than 200 firefighters helped fight the blaze, going up in flames just 2 years after the war and 2 days before Queen Elizabeth's wedding.
It just changed in a moment with the blaze, sort of basically exploding, and really, sort of people stood there and quiet and just watched, the frantic efforts to try and save lives.
At the time, more than 300 were employed at Ballantyne's. For those who were in the building, the memory of that day is still vivid. And for those who witnessed the blaze, the memory of the flames is never forgotten.
We went into town in their 1932 Chev, parked in the square near the cathedral, and we were standing watching the flames and the smoke down Colombo Street, and the 3-storey building was just a sheet of orange.
This rebuilt memorial giving back a place for loved ones to come and remember those who didn't make it home from work that day. Emma Cropper, CTV News. Locals will have to wait until next year for the opening of Ashburton's Gallery and Heritage Centre. Here's more details.
Ashburton's new art gallery and heritage centre will now open in February next year. The new building was initially planned to open by Christmas, but although staff have already moved in, the relocation of delicate exhibition items is taking longer than expected. An opening date is expected to be announced early next year.
A young woman was sexually assaulted on Riccarton Road just after 10 p.m. last night. Canterbury police spent the day undergoing a thorough scene examination. They're now appealing for any witnesses who may have seen anything suspicious on the corner of Riccarton Road and Shan Crescent. The attacker was unknown to the victim. Anyone with information is encouraged to call Crime Stoppers. Still to come, a local DJ comes back to win for a 3rd year in a row.
Your New Home follows two families over 12 weeks through the process of building a brand new home. Hear from the homeowners and learn more from the builders and tradespeople as we follow their exciting journey. Your New Home, Tuesdays at 8 on CTV.
Blackwell's has a proud history presenting leading vehicle brands, extensive backup and service for a total one-stop driving experience. Holden, Mazda and HSV new and used vehicle sales, servicing, parts, paint and panel, Isuzu truck sales and service, all together in one convenient location. More selection, more value, more quality and more reasons to make Blackwell's your number one choice. Visit Blackwell's today, corner Waterloo Racecourse Road, Sockburn, or online at blackwells.co.nz.
Action Removals, offering short or long-term storage facilities, full packing services, comprehensive rates, all fully insured and with 6 vehicle sizes to choose from. Earthquake repairs? Action Removals pack, move, store and return your valuable possessions stress-free. Action Removals, a family business that has been operating in Christchurch for over 10 years. Action Removals, your one-stop removal service on time, every time. 0800 222 526.
Welcome to Caltex Redwood. We're a family-owned business proudly supporting our local community. We're open 24/7 for fuel and shop goods, and we have an amazing team of people ready to help you. Save at least 6 cents per litre using AA Smart Fuel cards. We also offer great value on our LPG bottle fills. We have a full workshop and Bridgestone Tyre Centre. Our mechanics and tyre technicians will get your car sorted. Caltex Redwood. We're just down from St Bede's on Main North Road. Caltex Redwood. What drives you?
Looking for that perfect gift for a loved one? Wanting to add some vibrance to your home? Or just looking to brighten up your workplace? No matter the occasion, the Hitching Post has something for everyone. Lose yourself in their extensive range of homeware, art, glass and plasma cut metalwork. The Hitching Post is your one-stop shop for great style and quality. So come on down to the Hitching Post, 722 Marshland Road.
敬请收看 CTV Freeview 40频道首档华语原创系列电视节目 Chinese in Canterbury. Join us in watching Chinese in Canterbury on CTV.
Welcome back. The city's Technology DJ competition has been running for 17 years. Gordon Findlater talks to this year's winner.
Last Thursday, Christchurch partygoers were treated to the yearly meeting of the city's DJing elite. Technology, an annual DJ competition run by radio station RDU, has built itself a reputation of turning out top local talent, with 12 months worth of bragging rights going to the victor. RDU morning host Mike Field has been involved in the running of the event for the last couple of years and gave us a rundown on the history of Technology.
The event, Technology itself, has been running since 1997. The first 3 years it ran in association with a club called Azure down on the Strip, way before my time. And since then it's run in association with bars like the Concrete Club and the Old Ducks. After the Quakes, we did miss 1 year in 2011, but we've run every year since 1997, and yeah, since the Quakes we've run it exclusively at Ducks Live.
The competition begins in mid-October with strong crowds in attendance as the draw narrows.
It was 4 heats, then 2 semi-finals, and then down to 1 final, which is the big night. In the past 2 years it's always been Cup and Show Week, that Thursday before the holidays, so it's always a pretty big event.
The DJs are given 15-minute sets in the heats through to 30 minutes to show their skills come finals time. Being judged on a number of sections, the competitors have to run a slick operation if they hope to move through in the event.
Fundamentals, they're looking for good beat matching and gain control and things like that. They're looking for crowd participation, they're looking for the DJ to be having a good time and for the crowd to be having a good time. They're looking for song selection and flow, and they're also looking for I hate referring to it, but they call it the X Factor. They're looking for something else, something that makes you, rise above.
Only one man has his name on the title more than once. 2012 and 2013 champion Roos made it 3 in a row this year, beating off top competition from the other 5 finalists. His preparation for this year's event started right after his last success.
For me, it's a year-long process. So I have a specific folder that all of my tunes go into that I've downloaded throughout the year. A couple months out, I'll narrow that down to about 400 songs that are just quality. I also have a bunch of ideas that I've written in my phone throughout the year. And then I narrow that down and try and make everything work with about 35 songs. And then I try and make all of that work somehow.
And what happens if anything goes wrong on the night?
If something goes wrong on the night, which is what I get most nervous about, then you have to improvise. And that's why I practice every day for a month leading up to it, so that I can see where things might go wrong, and then I can see how I'll get out of that as fast as possible without telling.
The technology competition is seen by many as the perfect platform for getting notice as they search for regular paid gigs.
All of our judges are promoters or old DJs and things like that. And they absolutely get picked up and get good slots, good gigs in places around town. I mean, a lot of the guys who who made it to the final, I'd say maybe half of them are playing at Rhythm and Alps, and we picked one of the other ones to give a set at Rhythm and Alps as well. And there was other guys, I know they're getting picked up by places like Massive for the summer solstice and everything. And the judges are always on the lookout for, as well as the winner of the competition, the DJ that's going to be a great club or pub DJ as well.
What separates Roos from most competitors is his ability to scratch, a technique he told me has taken many years to learn. Roos won't be back to defend his title next year though, as he hands over the reins and turns his attention to other projects. Gordon Finlater, CTV News.
Canterbury's Tom Latham has made a record first for the Black Caps in Asia. Here's more on the story.
Canterbury's Tom Latham has made it back-to-back test tons for the Black Caps as the young opener helped his side to a bright start on the first day of New Zealand's second test against Pakistan in Dubai. Latham backed up from his maiden test century for New Zealand in their defeat in the first test to Pakistan with an unbeaten 137 as his side reached 243 for 3 at stumps. The 22-year-old showed a ton of patience and beautiful technique as he saw off the dangerous Pakistani spin attack. New Zealand batsmen have become renowned for struggling against spin in the subcontinent, but Latham appears to be an exception to the rule, becoming the youngest player outside of Asia to score 2 centuries in the continent. The objective for Latham now will be to push on and go for an even bigger score as the Black Caps look to apply some pressure on Pakistan with the hope of managing to square the series at 1-1.
Time now for your region's weather.
South Canterbury, Timaru, 19 degrees down there for you today. Temuka and Geraldine both on 19 degrees. Ashburton, 19 degrees down your way. Methven had a warm 20 degrees today. Rakaia on 19 degrees. Darfield, a lovely 20 degrees for you today. Leeston and Rolleston, 20 degrees. Lincoln also had a high of 20 degrees. Christchurch, a warm day on 21 degrees. And Akaroa, also a cosy 21 for your Tuesday.
The view up here, I see all the stars. Ooh, there go Venus and there go Mars.
Looking out north of the Waimakariri River, Kaipui, Rangiora and Amberley all on 21 degrees for you today.
I got excited, tried to keep my composure, trying to hide it.
Taking a look further inland, Culverden and Hamner Springs both were on 19 degrees today and 19 degrees in Cheviot. And up along the east coast, Kaikoura received a high of 18 degrees. Fine at first down in Timaru, but showers developing during the afternoon with cold at southwesterly winds freshening. Tonight's low 9 degrees, tomorrow's high 17. Ashburton, your day will start off fine and mild with westerlies and high cloud, but be prepared for showery southwesterlies that are set to develop during the afternoon. Tonight's low down to 9 degrees, tomorrow's high 19 degrees. And much the same in the Garden City tomorrow, fine and mild during the morning with mild westerly winds, but colder southwesterlies will develop with showers on the cards during the afternoon. Tonight's low 9 degrees, tomorrow's high 19 degrees. And if you're looking for fine weather, then Kaikoura is where you'll find it. A mild day expected with fresh westerly winds, sunny periods and some cloud will be about. Expect a low of 9 tonight with tomorrow's high at 20 degrees. The rest of Canterbury can expect moderate temperatures with some cloud and a few showers. Temuka and Geraldine a high of 18 degrees tomorrow with 9 overnight. Methven and Darfield you can expect 18 degrees with a low of 9 degrees overnight. 17 degrees is expected in Rakaia. Leeston, Rolleston and Lincoln can expect 9 degrees overnight with a high of 18 for weather day. And over the hill in Akarawa, 20 degrees is your expected high. And out north, a cloudy day for Kaipui, Rangiora and Amberley, all on 18 degrees. Culverden, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, 18 degrees with 9 degrees overnight. And looking ahead for Canterbury, mostly fine and sunny on Thursday with moderate northeasterlies. Fine with high cloud increasing and warm northwesterlies freshening on Friday. Make sure you secure down the trampolines because the winds will be strong to near gale force on Friday evening, then easing at night. Colder southwesterlies freshening early Saturday with a period of showers clearing during the afternoon. And you can look forward to Sunday and Monday, fine and sunny with moderate northeasterlies. That's your weather update for Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
And now we leave you with a bit more in remembrance of the Ballantyne's fire that engulfed the building 67 years ago. That's CTV News for Tuesday. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.